An off-duty Boston police officer is taken to the hospital after shooting and killing a knife-wielding man inside of a Chick-fil-A on Boylston Street. So police say that suspect had chased two people into the restaurant. WBZ's Samantha Cheney has more from Copley Square.
Now, the Boston police commissioner told us that it was an off-duty Boston officer who shot a man inside of this Chick-fil-A after we're told that he allegedly chased two people inside of the store with a knife. Now, we're told that both the cop and the victim were taken to the hospital. The officer is okay, but the man he shot has died from his injuries.
A few moments later.
My condolences and all of our thoughts are with the family of the individual whose life has been lost.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of the individual who's been lost.
So our condolences go to the individual who was killed tonight.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is Democrats doing it again, defending criminals, because this is a common thing that keeps on happening with the Democratic Party, is that they have to keep on defending criminals. I'm not quite sure why that is. I'm not quite sure why they're very fond of criminals, probably because they're criminals themselves, but I don't know what's really up in their brain. But we have this here to where a crook that was stabbed a person at Chick-fil-A, well, they unfortunately died because, well, they tried to stab citizens. But unfortunately, the Democrats thought it was a good idea to pray and cry for the person that was stabbing people instead of the actual citizens that had to deal with it. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it.
Police officer shoots and kills a knife-wielding man inside the Chick-fil-A on Boylston Street. Good evening to you. I'm Ken McLeod. Tonight, police say that suspect had chased two people into the restaurant and was trying to stab them. WBZ's Samantha Cheney is live for us tonight in Copley Square, where investigators had the entire street shut down for a while. Sam?
Yeah, well, the street is now reopened, but police commissioner, they told us today that an off-duty Boston police officer actually shot a man inside of this Chick-fil-A right behind me after we're told that he allegedly came into the store chasing two people, trying to stab them. Now, we're told that both the cop and the victim were taken to the hospital. Fortunately, they say that the cop, he is okay, but that victim died from his injuries.
Now they moved on to Chick-fil-A. Oh, now we got a person shot.
City officials extending their condolences.
In tragic circumstances like this, always, as always, our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of the individual who's been lost.
Also,
so before we get into more on this, to break it down, so essentially the person that was going around was going around stabbing people. One police officer was actually stabbed, and then the others were being threatened with a knife. And what you're going to be seeing here, as you're already seeing one already, they're defending the criminal who are getting shot and killed, instead of, maybe the police officer that was stabbed, trying to defend citizens and other people from the person that was trying to hurt or kill others. It really is weird.
thinking of all the people who were impacted.
After police say an off-duty Boston police officer shot and killed a man inside of Chick-fil-A on Boylston Street. This after they say he chased two people inside with a knife.
The individual was trying to attempting to stab the two individuals in the store, and the off-duty officer identified himself as a police officer, instructed them to drop the weapon, at which point the individual did not comply. The officer discharged his weapon to stop the threat, and the individual was struck.
According to police, it all happened around 5:30 Saturday evening, leaving some people shaken.
When you hear something like that, you see the streets all blocked off. What do you think?
It's definitely a dangerous situation to be in. I mean, as like college students living in the city, you want to be aware of these things, and in a city where you don't have a car, walking from place to place, it can make it very dangerous. So it's concerning.
I was surprised to find out, especially like in this area, because walking down it during the day, I wouldn't have assumed from being out of town that it quite like certain events like this would happen.
At this time, police say the motive behind the incident is still unclear.
And we have reason to believe, strong reason to believe, that there are other individuals who were here, who know something, who witnessed something, who may have been involved.
Now, the Suffolk County District Attorney told us that surveillance video is being used to determine if there were any other people involved in today's incident. Now, we're told that if you are a witness or if you are someone who may have captured any cell phone video, you're being asked to contact police with that information. Here in Copley Square, Samantha Cheney.
Yeah, so it's very interesting on how we can have a group of people really defending these guys, right? Like defending the person that stabbed people, but and saying like, oh, it's a horrible tragedy. But of course, the people that he was stabbing or wanting to stab with a police officer, no, that's the problem. And they're calling of course, as you can see here, they're calling the person that stabbed people the victim, which is weird considering he was the perpetrator trying to hurt other people. So I'm not quite sure what the Democrats are doing here. This is part of the reason why their approval rating is in the gutter. It's absolutely collapsing among itself because you have Democrats that are going out and pretty much just saying, oh, the person that was stabbing other people, hurting other people, and also stabbing a cop that was trying to save lives, that person's the victim. That person's, the person that is, that should be prayed for, whatever, instead of the cop that was stabbed and trying to protect people. This is what the Democrats do constantly over and over again. And it really makes you wonder on what their priorities are. Are they really the priorities of the American people and care about the American people? Or are they just the people for criminals, to justify criminals? Because that's what we're getting at here. Well, the other thing is that we have Mayor Wu, who is going to be facing under the huge threat of President Trump with their sanctuary cities, along with Brandon Johnson and a few others, that, probably are going to be very scared, frightened, because they think it's just like a scare tactic. I don't think it's a scare tactic. But without further ado, my friends, we're going to just jump into this one last part of the video.
Fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals.
Pushback in the sanctuary city of Boston. Mayor Michelle Wu says the city will not cooperate with his plan for mass deportation.
Next week's hearing involving Boston Mayor Michelle Wu and the leaders of other sanctuary cities. The committee released that video in a press release and posted it on social media. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Lisa Hughes.
And I'm David Wade. This is not something we can recall seeing before a congressional committee. WBZ's Beth Germano is live for us at Boston City Hall tonight. Beth, I know you got a chance to ask the mayor about this video.
Well, for the most part, she sees it as political theater and says she has a clear message to the committee about the safety of Boston as a major city. But no doubt Mayor Wu and 3 other mayors will be in the hot seat in the national debate about sanctuary city policies.
So we're going to bring the mayors in. We're going to let them explain what their policies are.
It's pretty dramatic.
Boston Mayor Michelle Wu appears more amused than bothered by a so-called hype video put out by the GOP-controlled House Oversight Committee that will hear her testimony on Boston as a sanctuary city next week.
Fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens.
Do you think it's an attempt to intimidate you and the other mayors?
We, at the city level, have so much to do every day. It's amusing to see so much effort going into hyping up the hearing. There are important topics that we need to talk about.
As a so-called sanctuary city, Boston limits.
Now, here's the thing is saying that, oh, well, it's just political theater. It's just, we have much more important things to do. Well, the important things is that you are letting illegal immigrants run around in your city, right? You're letting people go around in your city, commit crimes, and hurt, kill, rape other people. And you're being called to explain onto why you're letting this happen. And it is going to be a treat, an absolute treat, because obviously you think that you're just going to get away, that it's just political theater, is not going to happen. No, it's not. I think you are actually going to be held accountable for what it is. You need to explain to why you are housing illegal immigrants, because again, this is against federal law. So I don't know what she's thinking this being as a joke or being mischaracterized, but I don't think that's the case here. I think it's just you are in trouble and you are coping and hoping that this is, this is lead to something bigger than it is.
Limits its cooperation with federal immigration authorities, except when it comes to individuals who've committed crimes. The video claims sanctuary cities are protecting illegal immigrants and shows numerous arrests. Mayor Wu says it's a mischaracterization and that Boston is safer.
Which is the experience of our residents on the ground, living in the safest major city in the country, precisely because everyone feels connected to city services and knows that they can trust in their government and trust in their neighbors.
Narrowly, it's new. Broadly speaking, it's in the worst tradition of the House of Representatives.
Boston College political science professor Mark Landy says for the committee to promote a video like this ahead of the hearing is unusual, but it plays to President Trump's base and beyond.
One pledge he must live up.
Now, the thing is, it's the reason why it's not normal is because we never had an actual president or an actual president, I just say president, go out and do something and protect the actual American people, because they always toe the line or just flat out ignored people like this that we're going to do this. Now they're actually being targeted for hurting the American people and what have you. And whatever this stupid professor says, because professors are not all being, they are smart in their own actual stance or where they're at, right? This does not mean that these people are smart anywhere else outside of that. They could be, very, very intelligent in their own field with science or math or what have you. But when it comes to the political field, these guys are really, really stupid. So we shouldn't really be taking any ideas from these people.
Because it's the promise that got him elected was to crack down on illegal immigration. And he's doing it in every way he can imagine.
Well, if that's a game they want to play, game on.
And as the video highlights threats to cut federal funding to sanctuary cities,
the need in our community is great, and city, state, and federal government are supposed to work together in tandem.
Now, political observers say it plays more like a Trump campaign video and will add to the political theater, they say, that is expected at this hearing next week. Reporting live from outside.
I find it funny that they're saying it's going to be, it's just more political theater when it's not. It's that when they're not going to actually do anything. They're actually going to do anything, and she's going to be sweating bullets when they actually do something. So, it's saying that you are, it's just also funny, too, that she is saying that, like, we need to do this. We need to work together with the federal government. Well, I don't see you working together with the federal government. It seems like you're going behind. It seems like you're trying everything possible to not work with the federal government. Because if you were to work with the federal government, you'd be getting illegals out of the streets. You'd be helping the cops and ICE remove illegal immigrants from out of the streets, if that's what you wanted to do. Because obviously when they mean illegal immigrants, they mean illegal. So you should be like, oh boy, you want illegal ones. Okay, well, here they are. Well, guess what? That's not what you're doing there. You're not working with the federal government. She's already lying there. So Mike Johnson, Eric Adams, Michelle Wu, the rest of these people, they're all cooked, right? They're all absolutely cooked here, and we love to see it. And this is what's going to be happening. You hear this now, is that you have Democrats siding with people getting stabbed, the criminals, and not helping anybody else. And then, of course, as a May, they're in trouble for soliciting illegal immigrants. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
Burn down the city, scream at the top of your lungs till you're dizzy. You can cancel everything and everybody in it, but it's not your